It was the dream of a lifetime to drive an off-road car through the deserts of southern Africa by ourselves. Everybody said we are crazy to go without a guide, with only one car and to sleep in the desert. But we knew better. That's how our safari adventure Treks in the Desert was born. 8,000 kilometers in 5 countries. From the Kalahari Desert to the Okavango Delta, from the Atlantic coast to Victoria Falls, with penguins, crocodiles, lions and elephants just a few steps away, with Himba and Bushmen teaching us their way of life. Join us on our 21 days African adventure.
Our 7th day in Africa begins in Palmwag, in Kaokoland. We have already driven 2,500 kilometers in Africa, but today begins the real off-road adventure. Through Sesfontein and Puros we reach the 4-wheel drive riverbed trails, which we want to follow farther north, in order to get eventually to the Angolan border at Epupa Falls.
And now it's time for real adventure. We're gonna try to drive all the way up to the Hoarusib riverbed. And what do you know, there's actually water in this river because it's the beginning of the spring. That means we will meet a lot of animals. We'll try to work out our way to the north to the Epupa Falls only on 4 weedy trails in riverbeds.
The only river of this area with water at this time attracts all kinds of animals. And while the lions are still hiding, the wild desert elephants aren't shy at all. The Hoarusib riverbed trail requires experienced off-road driving. The tracks are covered in deep sand. After putting the car to serious test for hours, we leave the Hoarusib river and cross the rocky pass to the parallel valley. The Hoarusib is dry at this time of the year, and there's a lack of water and of wildlife. We are crossing one of South Africa's last true wildernesses. There are no villages, just remote Himba settlements. In these arid conditions you can meet no one for days and you must be well prepared and equipped. This is our real off-road adventure. We are stopping for wood, and because in 19 minutes the sun will go down, we are looking for a good place to camp. Theoretically, it is prohibited to camp in the wilderness outside of campsites, but if the night catches you on the road, you are allowed to stop and sleep. We found a remote place like a small paradise, as far from the civilized world as it can be. We are starting a fire and we begin our self-catering program we have so long prepared ourselves for.
In Namibia you will experience a lot of interesting things, like when you will brush your teeth every evening you will remember that like 100 kilometers farther north there is Angola. And if you want to eat something fancy, try chakalaka! Chakalaka chiki-chan, chakalaka chiki-chan. But the best of all, everybody eats something like this. It's like beef meat, dried and smoked, and with some spices, and you've got to eat it like a snack. Is it good? Is it bad? Yeah, that's exactly the word for it. It is good and it is bad. It's good and bad. Undescribable. Such a fully equipped camping car is really a wonderful thing. I wonder why we don't have these things in Europe. Look, we even have a toilet, a campaign toilet, yeah? You're gonna use this something like whatsoever. But the best part, look, the shower. You just have to press a knob and the water already flows. Woohoo! Yeah, the nearest village is like 150 kilometers away, and we can take a shower in the desert. Woohoo! Well, back off.
It's idyllic to sleep in the middle of nowhere, but in the night we must take care of animals. Hyenas and jackals are supposed to come and search for food around our campsite. Every 2 hours I woke up to look for animals, but there was nothing to see. We were all by ourselves all night long. In the morning we discovered that the fuel tank hose is leaking again. Now that can be a problem out here, where the car's diesel consumption is over 15 liters for 100 kilometers. We still have enough fuel and an extra 20 liters jerry can, but you can never be sure. Today we have to pass the roughest road of the entire region, and we will have to exploit at maximum the car's off-road abilities.
Even from inside your comfortable car, it may look like there's not even the trace of a danger. Be careful, people, you're in the middle of the desert, hundreds of kilometers away from people and civilization. And there are wild animals, alive or dead.
Between Orupembe and Okongwati, even avoiding the scary Van Zils Pass, the road is an extreme four-wheel drive test, and you have to have guts to drive here a rented car. There are huge rocks on the way, and I must admit that only a miracle helped us not to get even a punctured tire or worse. Don't forget to have good maps and navigation devices. We used Tracks for Africa and OpenCycle maps and had no problems in maintaining orientation.
Încolo. Bun, bine. Încet. Stânga. Hai. Bun. Dă-i. Dă-i.
Yeah, really nice.
Now I can tell you that compared to Mongolia, for example, navigating in Namibia's remote areas is almost a piece of cake, but you can never be careful enough. The settlements you will find on maps are just a few cottages in the middle of nowhere, and you won't be able to find here supplies or fuel. Interesting are the names of the inhabited places, all derived from the Himba names and most of them beginning with the letter O. Opuo, Okongwati, Orupembe, Otinja, Otinjange or Okahao. The strange part about that remote area is that you will have it hard to find the wild animals, but you will get to see plenty of goats, sheep, cows and donkeys. They all belong to the Himba nomads.
All over Kaokoland you will be able to find deserted Himba villages. The remains are only the wooden structures of their homes and of their fireplaces. But if you will search, you will also be able to find settlements that are still inhabited by Himbas.
Himbas are nomadic tribes. They built their villages in one place and remain there for as long as 20 years. But in the dry season, all the young men of the family are going away with the domestic animals in search of food. Around Epupa Falls we find the guide John, who is taking us to visit a Himba family.
Say thank you, Kuhepa.
Yeah.
Thank you. So,
Yeah.
you're fine in your country? Yeah. Like the Himba people, they are polygam.
Really?
Yeah, so one man can have several women. So this man, he was having 4 wives. So like the first wife is living here,
Yes.
in the main house. So this is the crowd,
Yes.
that big fence.
There are the animals.
During the night they put the goat and sheep.
Goat and sheep they have, yes?
Yeah. And
One
Nadia.
Sophie.
Sophie.
Yeah. Rowan.
Adrian.
Dirian.
Adrian.
Andirian.
in our traditional, like the Himba women, so they never allowed to take in bath, they never wash.
Never wash.
So only putting okra.
Yes.
The okra and with the butter fat.
Yes.
And then, because they used to get the milk from the cow, they put in carabas, they
Yes.
shaking and make butter, and the butter they cook.
Yeah.
And they take that fat and mix the okra, then they can put on the body. So I said the women, they had the extension.
Yes.
Like long time ago, they have been getting the hair from the men,
Yes.
like the brother or father. They
Yes.
grow the hair, then they cut it and they give to the women,
Yes.
so they can braiding together to make a little bit longer. But when you check the hair now to the end,
Yes.
so they buy the hair like Syrian hair, like Indian hair, so
Okay.
then extend it together.
Okay. And the kids, they are not going to school. They are gonna learn everything they need here in the family.
But this time they do. Some
Yes.
of them now they are in school.
Really?
But the Himba, they don't send them all.
Yes.
But only this time now they are sending children to the school.
Yes.
But like long time ago, they were not sending the children to school.
Okay.
Every small village belongs to a family. The houses are made of hard wood and covered in a cement-like mixture of cow poo and sand. The Himba women are famous for their astonishing natural beauty and for the red mixture of ochre butter and herbs they are painted with.
So they go in the nature. They correct different plant. So they make the small fire, and then the women can sitting on this. They clean it with the smoke to make hair smelling nice because they don't wash. The other one, kind of the basket, they can hang it on, and they used to put the skirt. You know the skin, the leather they are wearing on the bottom here.
Yeah.
And also they can hang on, and then so that the smoke, or even the blanket or material, they can cover it, then clean it with the smoke.
We brought gifts in form of food supplies, and in exchange you are getting to learn a lot about a simple Himba way of life. One interesting part is about their medicines. In case of serious illness, they have a few traditional medicine men, one for many families. It is not easy to become such a Himba doctor. You have to study traditional medicine with the elder ones over the border in the mountains of Angola. I am playing a modern doctor, helping with an ointment a Himba man who has some serious wounds.
From car wheels,
Yeah.
he's taking the rubber and making some shoes.
Yeah. After the tire puncture, they buy it.
Oh yeah, and he has now
Already
sandals.
done. It's already done. Then later they are going to be like this.
Really?
Hmm.
But they're looking like made
This is
in
the
a
leather.
factory. Yes.
No, the side. There
Yes.
is the soft leather. The soft, the one on the
Straps,
side.
yeah.
After the visit to the Himba, our local guide takes us to see the crocodiles and the monkeys along the Kunene River.
I think I won't be able to swim in the river then.
No. Can't swim in. No, from 2 years ago,
Yes?
one guy from America,
Yes?
they went down below the falls. They're swimming.
Really?
One guy attacked by crocodile.
Really? And who won?
Yeah,
The crocodile won.
There were three, but one is by crocodile. But we find the body, one arm gone, one leg gone.
Really?
After 5 days, we find the body somewhere. Even from last year, one young man, Himba man, swimming, but not die. It's likely the water was not so deep.
Yes.
He catch him here.
Really?
But he was having a knife because the Himba, they like to have a big knife.
Yes.
He took in the mouth,
Yes?
then he leave him.
He cut the crocodile.
Yeah, on the mouth, then he leave him.
Let me check it out a little bit. I'm making your mouth a little bigger.
In this dry land, the presence of so much water in the river is like an unbelievable oasis. We find here palm trees and completely new species of animals. The Kunene River is the border between Namibia and Angola, but it is very hard to obtain the Angolan visa and you are not allowed to cross the border with a rented car.
Now this river is the border between Namibia and Angola, and even there's only 50 meters to Angola. I am not allowed to cross this river because of the crocodile. So I guess I'm going to lose the opportunity today to practice my little Portuguese language skills on the other side of the river. But maybe in a few years we will come back, and who knows, that time we will make Angola too.
The Epupa Falls are definitely worth a visit if you are in northern Namibia.
Now the famous Epupa Falls are actually many waterfalls that are stretching on the river over a length of 1.5 kilometers. The whole height of the waterfalls is 65 meters, but the biggest one, the first one, measures only 25 meters in height. The view is astonishing. Even in the dry season, it is well worth a visit.
In Epupa you can sleep in one of the campsites, like we did. It is a small settlement and there are very limited possibilities to buy supplies and fuel. We can't find help to fix our car and we lose some serious fuel with every hour gone.
Always diesel fuel. Looks like we've lost over 1 liter diesel during the night. That shitty leaking hose. Yeah.
Due to the car problem we decided to skip the picturesque but bad road upstream to Ruacana and choose to search for help south, in Opuo, the closest town. After 3,500 kilometers we are at the half of our journey and we have already passed all the four-wheel drive tracks. But stay tuned, because there's much more to come. The Etosha National Park, Botswana with Okavango Delta, Zambia and Zimbabwe with a Victoria Fall. Stay tuned for Tracks in the Desert.